Time for a visit with the head coach of the Mason City Toros. Nick Bruneteau is joining us here as we get set for the North Iowa Bulls main tryout camp up in Minnesota this weekend. I'll be up there and Nick will be up there. It'll be a busy weekend. Nick, how you guys doing getting some family time in here this past weekend?
Yeah, well, it's been nice. It's been a busy summer for sure. Obviously between our organization, we have three junior hockey teams, so it's been a lot of camps, a lot on the road, but it's hockey, so it's always fun.
Free time is rapidly disappearing right now with the big Bulls camp coming up this week too.
Yeah, definitely, and that'll be exciting. I know there's going to be several Toros players there, so hopefully they make that next jump, and that'll be important for their career.
Now, I know you're going to be heavily involved with the Bulls camp this week. What does your involvement look like as far as the Bulls camp goes with the Toros angle in there?
Well, it'll be probably a little bit of both. I think the first thing to note is how lucky we are for our team and our staff to be in a position where not only do we have a North American League team in house, but a coach in Coach Sandin that's willing and allows us to be in a big part of that process. That's not every organization. That's actually very few. So that's obviously a big piece of it. We'll be obviously helping evaluate for the North American League team whenever needed. But on the same side of that, it's a great opportunity for us to look for players and just kind of further that evaluation process of some of the players we already know.
Now, how are preparations going for the Toros camp? I mean, it's still a month away, but you're signing guys up right now. You're recruiting guys for that camp. How are things looking for that? Any developments come out of that in the last couple of months since we set the schedule and since we last visited with you?
Yeah, it's not too far away, but it's one of those things where when we have so many guys that could come back. I think it's 19 potential returners. And for every one of those kids, we want them to advance. So right now, their focus is all on the North American Hockey League. So we're hoping to see some of those guys make that next jump, whether it's with North Iowa or another team in the league. And once those camps kind of shake out, then we're going to go right back to our players. We'd obviously want every single one of them back, but that's at the end of the day, it's about advancing too. So, we're just going to keep tabs on all of them, stay in touch, and have a better idea probably in the next few weeks of what's shaking out from the North American League.
And we talk about advancement, especially college commitments. A lot of good news for your guys over the last couple of months since we last talked. Tons of college commitments. I got the list right in front of me here. Jack Campion going to St. Mary's, Brendan Sloth to Gustavus, Owen Carlson got the call up to Lawrence University, all Division III schools there. Some other guys that have left the program on good terms that are also going to Division III schools. So a lot of good news for these guys. The Toros are, even though it's the same group that was the Tier 3 Bulls from before this past year, the Toros history is off to a good start here after year one.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's probably one of the the most special things for myself and Marquise is seeing these guys climb the ladder. So, and I know you mentioned a few of the guys that, weren't with us at the end of the season. Like Nathan Gillishammer just committed and he'll be playing college with Humphreys. So those two link up again, but I'm excited to follow all of them, all of their careers. Owen Carlson was the latest commitment, and you saw what he did in playoffs against Wilmer. I mean, he was fantastic, and probably the biggest reason why we swept that first round. So I'm happy for the guys, and I know they're all excited to get after it. But it'll be fun for us to kind of watch their careers take off here and see how they do in college.
And every NA3 team hopes to have at least one guy selected in the NAHL draft. There's usually about 30 guys that go every year, and this was a big year for the Toros. A couple of guys went. Eric Chafe went to North Iowa, of course, but we can't forget Nick Howell going to the Chippewa Steel this year. So a couple of guys are getting an NAHL chance.
Yeah, those were great opportunities for those guys, and we're very excited for what's next for them. You talk about Eric Chafe. he's a young goaltender, and we think he can make that jump. And whether it's right away next season, mid-season, or the following year, he's got some years to toy around with it. But he's an excellent goaltender, and he keeps getting better. And then you talk about Nick Howell, one of the, if not the hardest worker. But between the two teams, he's a rink rat. He's always there. He puts the time in, and he's another kid you're really, really excited for. To see him take that next step. And to be honest with you, we're proud of all those guys, and I think it's great for them, and it's great for our organization to continue to move players on.
A few weeks ago, I got the text from Todd on a Monday night, and we had something out on it. I think that Tuesday. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know where or exactly when. But Sota Isogai going to the pro ranks in Japan as a member of the East Hokkaido Cranes. He'll be playing there in the Japanese pro ranks next year. I know that was a goal for him. He wanted to go home, wanted to play for a pro team back home, and that's a lifelong goal he'll get to accomplish now. Yeah,
and it's an excellent league too. Being a guy that was over in Europe, you come across a few guys who played in those leagues, and they were high-end players. I know several guys who played in the American League over here and then went over to those same teams that Sota's on now. So that's going to be a great step for him. That's what Sota wanted right out of the gate. He's was the first one to tell us, I'm going to go play pro. So I think based on what he did this season, it's no shocker to anybody that he's moving on up to the next level. And I think it's cool for our players too to have that, not just U.S. guy connection, to have that little international twist to things, and a lifelong friend for all of them. I think that's always pretty cool, and something that the game of hockey provides us all.
As somebody who played professional hockey overseas, how quickly does that open your eyes to how big the hockey scene is in the world? I mean, being over in America, you can just follow the American leagues and the minor leagues and the college leagues. But as soon as you step outside of the US and Canada, you suddenly realize England's got a national league. Finland has a national league, all sorts of, not just the KHL, but every country in Europe has its own league. The Asian countries have their own leagues, and you learn a little something about every one of them being out of the country.
Yeah. And I think it's really cool to see the non-traditional hockey markets internationally start to take off. And you're seeing so many players from Japan come over here now and have success. And even some of the smaller countries, whether it's Italy, France, Austria, they're all starting to put players to the next level. It's great for the game. And then, obviously for Sota, it's great for his career as well to, continue to keep taking those steps, but to get rewarded for it too is awesome. And I know I'm not the only one who will be keeping tabs on him this upcoming season.
All right, so the schedule's out for this year. 9 Saturday games on the schedule, 7 Sunday games on the slate this year. So a lot of the schedule will shift back a day this year. Your thoughts on what the slate looks like for this season?
Yeah, I don't mind the schedule at all. I like that we played Rochester non-conference. They obviously won the league last year. They're probably the best test we can get out of our division. And that's what we want. It's a good measuring stick to see where you stack up, down the playoff stretch. And they're a team that's always going to be at the Fraser Cup. So if we're going to have success, it's good to know what we need to do or what we need to fix early, and then give them another shot. And then, I know you talked about the road games and the home game discrepancy throughout the course of the season. I actually prefer that. I'd rather be on the road early, especially, we're expecting to have a veteran team. Last season we had 5 returners. This season we could return 19. Now, I don't think we'd return 19 because some of those guys are going to take that jump, but you could easily return 12 players or right around that range. So having a more veteran team, I like that we're on the road early. I know our guys can handle it. They've seen it all. And then getting those home games later in the year is very important, not just for our crowd and feeding off that energy, but we also are a team that likes to match lines and tries to create beneficial matchups. So that's another big thing down the home stretch that we're looking forward to.
Wouldn't be a season without the games against Rochester, would it? I mean, they're 90 minutes away. It's one of the building rivalries in the league. We got the rivalry with Granite City, but the championship history between Mason City, North Iowa, and Rochester, how close they are. The fans get after each other a little bit. And of course, under the Bruins ownership, it's become a true rivalry and about as evenly matched as it gets.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the last two teams who won the league, and it's us, and them. So I love that we get that opportunity to play those guys. They're extremely well coached. Chris Ratzloff's done an unbelievable job there, and he's a great person too. So what he's done there has been extremely special, and we're hoping that we can wrestle that title back from them next season. So we're looking forward to it.
And you mentioned the home and road games, probably the highlight of the season, 10 home games in a row to end the year. I think it's the longest homestand in Mason City Tier 3 history. The Bulls never had one that long, and the Toros didn't have one that long either. It's got to be nice to be able to put the overnight bags away and stay off the bus once mid-January, the end of January comes around.
For me and Marquise, yes, definitely. For our players, I think they love going on the road. I thought we had a bunch of road dogs last year, and honestly, it's just more time they get to spend together, and they were so close that I think some of our guys have no issue with that. So, but for me personally, yeah, I like getting some sleep in my own bed. So we'll have to see how it transpires here.
All right, Friday will come quick, and that is when the North Iowa Bulls camp starts in Andover, Minnesota. Nick Bruneteau is going to be there, the head coach of the Mason City Toros. I will be there as well. The whole staff will be up there for that one. Nick, should be a fun camp. Good to talk with you. We'll see you later this week.
Thanks, Rowdy. Appreciate it.